Good afternoon. My name is Greg DeVore. I'm a lead meteorologist with the National Weather Service in State College, Pennsylvania. I'm honored to represent my office and agency today, along with PennDOT, PEMA, the Pennsylvania State Police, and the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission as we again launch Snow Squall Awareness Week in Pennsylvania. Having devoted the greater part of the past two decades to better forecasting, understanding, and warning of the societal impacts of snow squalls, I can say without hesitation that few weather events pose a greater threat to Pennsylvania highway motorists than snow squalls. Snow squalls produce quick-hitting, intense, brief bursts of snow lasting on the order of minutes, producing blizzard conditions and extremely dangerous highway travel, despite generally minor snow accumulations. One of the most dangerous aspects of snow squalls is their tendency to produce flash freezes on highways. When a squall arrives, it's common for road surface temperatures to initially be above freezing, sometimes above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. In this situation, heavy snow initially melts on warm roads, but that liquid water turns to ice as temperatures fall. Combined with near whiteout conditions from a snow squall, flash freezes produce immediate, extreme, and life-threatening impact on highways. Drivers can't see or stop, and pulling off to the side of the highway is not a safe option. Fully loaded tractor trailers suddenly require 10 times the stopping distance, and their violent force is transferred to vehicles and their occupants in horrific pileups. Truly, there's no safe place on a highway during a snow squall. Throughout this week, we'll post a variety of infographics, videos, and safety tips on our collective social media platforms, at rest stops, and on digital highway message signs. Please take the opportunity to review this information so you know what to do when you encounter a snow squall while traveling. And remember, when you receive a snow squall warning via wireless emergency alert on your phone, we are urging you to delay highway travel until the snow squall passes or to safely exit the highway ahead of the snow squall's arrival. Prepare and plan now to stay safe this winter. At this time, I'd like to turn this over to our warning coordination meteorologist, John Gooseman, in the National Weather Service State College office.
Thank you, Greg. Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Gooseman, and I'm the warning coordination meteorologist at the National Weather Service and State College. The National Weather Service issues snow squall warnings to alert for the sudden onset of life-threatening conditions encountered by highway travelers during snow squalls. The warnings are short-fused, meaning that they're issued for up to about 1 hour in time and are designed to be acted upon immediately. To make sure that the public receives them, these warnings activate the wireless emergency alert system and will push audible alert notifications to smartphones. If you are driving on an interstate when a snow squall warning is issued, the best thing to do is gradually reduce your speed and exit the roadway at the next opportunity. If you do get caught driving in a snow squall, avoid slamming on your brakes, turn on your headlights and hazard lights, stay in your lane, and increase your following distance. There is no safe place on the highway during a snow squall. Before you get on the road this winter, make sure you are weather aware, and for more information on how to do so and about the science of snow squalls, snow squall warnings, and snow squall safety, visit weather.gov/ctp/snowsquall. Remember, there is no safe place on the highway during a snow squall. On behalf of all 5 National Weather Service offices that serve Pennsylvania, thank you for your time and stay safe this winter. Now I'm going to turn it over here to Mike Kaiser with PennDOT.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Kaiser. I'm the Acting Deputy Secretary for Highway Administration. I'm happy to be here with some key partners talking about a very important topic. Keeping our roads as safe as possible in winter is a team effort. At PennDOT, we're ready for the season. We constantly monitor conditions before and throughout storms. We also remind motorists that during winter weather events, the department's goal is to keep our roads passable, not necessarily completely free of snow and ice. The heavier the traffic or the heavier the snowfall, the longer our plow routes may take to complete. With each storm, we will continue to treat our roadways throughout the storm until the roads are clear. At 511pa.com, you can see plow locations and when all state roads were last plowed. When it comes to squalls, we all know they're very unpredictable. We may pre-treat in areas where squalls are forecast if there isn't material already on the roadway. We use our electronic signs to alert drivers in areas where squalls are forecast. Beyond the possible treatments on roadways or continuing operations during storms, we cannot predict where squalls will hit. That's why we need the public's help to keep this season a safe one. If you can delay travel when squalls are forecasted, please do so. If you must travel, please allow plenty of space around our snowplow operators so they can perform their jobs effectively and safely. In inclement weather, give other vehicles space and please slow down. Squalls can appear suddenly and your visibility can reduce or completely disappear. Give yourself some extra reaction time and space. I talked about our preparations for snow squalls and other weather, but I'd also like to share another example of how we're focused on safety. This winter, PennDOT is expanding a pilot program which uses variable speed limit signs, or VSLs, to quickly reduce speed limits when visibility or roadway conditions call for slower speeds. Early this year, the program was active in 14 locations along I-80 in Clearfield County. See, we're getting ready already. Preliminary results show that, when needed, this low-cost initiative solution effectively slowed traffic and reduced or eliminated crashes. This year, the program will expand to 63 locations. Along the I-80 corridor, we have them in Clearfield, Clarion, Jefferson, and Clinton counties. Along I-81 in Luzerne, Schuylkill, and Lebanon counties. VSLs will be used at or near existing permanent speed limit signs between now and April of 2023. Permanent speed limit signs will be covered while this program is active. The normal speed limit will be displayed on the VSL unless visibility or weather conditions call for slower speeds. When speed limits are reduced, a yellow light at the top and bottom of the VSL will be flashing to ensure motorists are aware of the change. We're pleased to bring one more safety measure to our roadways. This is especially true because so many crashes can be preventable. Preliminary statewide data shows that there were 266 crashes on snowy, slushy, or ice-covered roadways where aggressive driving behaviors such as speeding or making lane changes were factors. These crashes resulted in 2 fatalities and 116 injuries. For the safety of all motorists, we encourage drivers to always follow the speed limit, especially when speeds are lower due to winter weather conditions. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Let's all get home safely every day this winter season. I'd now like to introduce the Turnpike CEO, Mark Compton. Mark.
Thank you, Mike. As you can see by the group gathered here today, it's a joint effort in educating drivers and the public in how to handle snow squalls. Listen, none of us want to find ourselves in one of these events, but I have just a few helpful tips and reminders that may help you get through it just a little safer. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is please have a conversation with anybody in your home or anyone you know that's an inexperienced driver. These things are important for all of us, so the conversation we're having here today, please have it also with your teenage drivers. None of us would work to put a teenager in the middle of a snowstorm, but as we discussed, squalls come up at a moment's notice like that. So there is a good opportunity for one of them to be caught in this, just like it would be for any of us. Next thing I'm going to ask you to do too is please check your winter tires, or tires that you have on your vehicle now. We always have a saying, those of us that do this, that the first storm is always the worst. I can tell you a lot of that is because folks haven't checked their tires. They haven't checked pressure. They haven't checked tread since last year. So please do it now as we are approaching this season, and understand that there could be some weather hitting yet this week. Also, some things for you to have in your vehicle as well. One is a cell phone and charger. Another is jumper cables, first aid kit, as well as any medications that you may need, blankets and warm clothing, flashlight that's not your cell phone, flares, snow scrapers and shovels, waters and snacks, water and snacks, and also to a bag of sand or cat litter. And when heading out, now is the time to make sure that your gas gauge is no less than half filled. So when you approach that halfway mark, please look to get yourself some more fuel. Hopefully none of you will experience a problem on the roadway, but if you do, if you have some of those things with you, it may make that experience just a little more bearable. If there is a traffic issue, a sudden slowdown caused by the weather or an incident on the roadway, we do everything we can to alert our drivers of those events. The electronic signs that you see on the turnpike, as well as when you're approaching the interchanges, those will be lit up with a message if there is trouble ahead. Take heed to those warnings. They're on there for a reason, so find yourself an opportunity to get out of harm's way, check the message, and if so, obviously don't travel in that direction. Another tool that we are really proud of is a partnership that we've just established with DriveWise. DriveWise is an instrument or is a tool dedicated to the commercial trucking community. So we're working directly with DriveWise to get incident notifications inside the trucker's cab of anyone who participates. We're excited to say that we have over 2 million commercial drivers that sign up with this technology. So we are excited for that. Also, too, just a reminder, Star 11 is still active on anywhere on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, meaning if you yourself have a need, or if you see an incident, hit star 11 on your cell phone. That line is manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With that and with the partners you see, we're working hard at the PA Turnpike Commission to make sure that we continue our mission to provide a safe and reliable roadway for our customers in good weather and in bad. With that, it's my pleasure to turn over the conference to Corporal Miller of the Pennsylvania State Police.
Thank you, Mr. Compton, for the introduction, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. As he stated, my name is Corporal Brent Miller, and I serve as the Department Public Information Officer with the Pennsylvania State Police. Winter weather driving will be here before you know it. In fact, according to recent weather forecasts, could be here tomorrow. The Pennsylvania State Police offer these reminders and safety tips in hopes of preventing injuries and deaths this winter season. Snow squalls bring a set of challenges for everyone involved. As first responders, we see the aftermath: chain reaction crashes, significant damage to vehicles, injuries, and sadly, death. These winter events also put our lives, as well as the lives of other first responders, on the line while responding to incidents in the same dangerous conditions. We want to prevent these incidents as much as possible. Listen to weather and travel advisories and be sure to enable phone alerts. But remember, if you don't have to travel in bad weather, then please stay home. If you do find yourself in the middle of a snow squall, try not to panic. Gradually slow down, drive at a speed that suits conditions, and increase your following distance. Make sure your headlights are turned on. Don't rely on automatic headlights, as squalls virtually eliminate a driver's ability to see other vehicles and the road. You should also turn on your defrosters, wipers, and four-way flashers. Stay in your lane and stay alert. Remember to reduce in-car distractions so that your full attention is on the road and what is happening around you. In most cases, if you are involved in a pileup crash, you will be safer in your vehicle with your seatbelt fastened. If your car is drivable, turn on the hazard lights and slowly move forward to the front of the pileup. If the road is blocked, get off the travel lane as much as possible. If you must leave your car for an emergency, try to wait until it looks safe. If the pileup is not over, you run the risk of getting struck. Do not stand outside of your vehicle if it is on or near the roadway. Seek a safe place well off the roadway behind a tree, guide rail, or concrete barrier, but be wary of rocks, debris, and other hazards that might be along the road and obscured by snow. With all these tips mentioned today, our goal is to help you and your family reach your destination safely. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Director of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency, Randy Padfield. Director?
Thank you, Corporal Miller. Good afternoon, everyone. As you've heard from the agencies represented here, and as we've all seen before, snow squalls can have devastating impacts on motorists, but you can take steps to prepare and avoid the potential tragic outcomes that are associated with trying to drive through them. It only takes awareness of the potential for rapidly changing conditions and proper action to avoid serious injuries and/or loss of life. At PEMA, we work with our other federal and state partners, such as you see here today, on the front end of weather incidents to provide information to the public to increase awareness of these situations and take appropriate steps to avoid them if at all possible. Preparedness messaging to increase awareness, coupled with access to the right information at the right time, is critical to helping people make informed decisions regarding their safety. We just ask that individuals heed the warnings, maintain good awareness of the conditions around them and potential for rapidly changing conditions when driving, and make decisions in the best interest of their own safety and the safety of their families and loved ones. During winter weather events, our agencies are all actively engaged in support of the motoring public. Whether it be providing updated forecasts or weather warnings, clearing or maintaining the roads, providing real-time travel information, continuously monitoring conditions across the Commonwealth, or responding to incidents that occur to resolve them in a timely fashion. We all do this to provide for the safety of the motoring public, but we can't do it without your support. Making the right decisions, given the circumstances, is the most critical piece to keeping you safe. Unfortunately, we all know that despite our best attempts to avoid or significantly limit these situations, sadly, they do occur. When they do, PEMA stands at the ready to coordinate any needed support to respond to incidents with state agencies and county and local emergency management professionals through our Commonwealth Response Coordination Center. Coordinating response operations to large, complex incidents is difficult on a good day, let alone during poor or deteriorating weather conditions. As you are well aware, many areas of the state rely on local volunteers to provide these services. With the decline in volunteerism, many of these organizations have difficulty maintaining the ability to respond to daily emergencies, let alone large incidents that can quickly overcome their resources. This is another reason why it is so critical we do everything we can to avoid these types of situations. As we are all well aware, weather impacts a lot of what we do in the Commonwealth. In some situations, those impacts are minor and result in travel delays, change in family plans, and other similar types of situations. But in others, they are truly tragic, as we've seen all too often. Understanding how the weather can impact your plans, knowing where to get up-to-date weather and travel information, as many of my colleagues laid out today, heeding the weather warnings, as we've previously discussed, and making good decisions on when to delay, suspend, or postpone travel is critical to keeping you and your loved ones safe this winter season. And now I'd like to open it up for questions.
Incident that happened in January during this past year, all night, that big snowstorm popped up, that large pile there. Did that incident make you rethink the approach for how to handle snowstorms?
From the standpoint of the Pennsylvania State Police, I believe that that incident made us look at everything as a combined team effort. We started actually Snow Squall Awareness Week last year was our inaugural press conference to really bring awareness. So with that incident occurring last year, that really included a lot of conversations between all our agencies on how we can all be a little better prepared in that sense.
I'll just add to those comments that that is an area that I mentioned here during my remarks. I believe we're talking about the pileup on I-81 in Schuylkill County. So that's an area now that we reach back in and we have more of the variable speed limit signs. You drive out there; they're already out there now. Should be operational. So again, that's just our approach in trying to mitigate that to in future storms like that. So.
From a weather service standpoint, we were horrified to see the videos taken by the folks standing next to I-81 after the pileups occurred. And we started Snow Squall Awareness Week last year, but this year there was a pointed effort to try to get the best safety information out there as to what to do if involved in a pileup to reduce injuries and deaths. And again, that's been an interagency effort here, everybody working together on this. And we keep learning better ways each year, so we're going to keep working together, and this is a huge step, getting people to talk about, plan what they will do if they're involved in a snow squall, and plan alternate routes to stay safe.
For PennDOT, then, with the possibilities of inclement weather coming as early as tomorrow, do you have any plans in place to combat that?
Obviously, short answer is yes. We're going to monitor the forecast every day of the winter. Once we see what's going on there, each county makes their own individual plans, so we'll be ready for the storm tomorrow. Thank you.
One other for the Weather Service, and maybe you talk about that in town. Are there any places in the Commonwealth where you're particularly worried about snow squalls, and is there any weather conditions under which a snow squall is more likely to form?
Sure. Proximity to the Great Lakes is a frequency issue. So the closer you are to Lake Erie, the more frequent these events are, the more people are used to them. The farther away from the lakes you get, the more we have a problem with folks not having experienced them before. And also, road surface temperatures can be well above freezing when a squall arrives. And the air temperature might be in the mid-20s, road surface temperature near 50. You get the melting and then freezing and a flash freeze. So they're dangerous for different reasons, but lesser frequency tends to make more severe events farther away from the lake. So you get into the more populous areas of the state, Harrisburg, east and southeast. It's challenging to get that message out to educate people that this can be a real threat to them when they're not experiencing it regularly. But that's exactly what we're trying to do here. Sure.
And one more too on your end. Is this area in particular, the Susquehanna Valley, kind of a problem area for Doppler coverage? Because we have what you have up in State College, but south of that, it seems that things can sneak up on you guys. At least that's what Joe Calhoun has told me at ours.
There are always challenges observationally wherever you are. We supplement radar data with satellite and surface observations. This area is served equally by 3 different radars, but at about 8,000 to 10,000 feet. And so with a smaller storm or a snow squall that's really short, the beam can overshoot that. So we use other observational systems, but that is a challenge. And one thing I did want to say is that our best intent is to warn for every weather hazard. Even with severe weather that's not always possible, there are areas, storms that can't be sampled correctly, warm season and cold season. But this awareness effort is designed specifically to educate about that, and so people can take those steps to be assertive and really protect their own safety.
Is the National Weather Service taking any steps at this moment to address that gap, other than awareness?
Officially, the Weather Service has supplemented radar data with the other satellite systems. We have much greater frequency of satellite imagery, much higher resolution, and so it was much more of an issue 20 or 30 years ago when the radars were first put in. So we actually have better tools now to mitigate that, but we're talking about equidistant radars 300 miles apart. We have observational systems that are also not available every square mile. It's not possible to get a sensor in every location, but we do the best with what we have, and we're always increasing our observational equipment to do that. And there is some hope in the future that we would get some supplemental radar coverage, either from private sector or universities that could supplement what we use. But we'll still always be dealing with that density of coverage of observational equipment.
Do satellites show snow squalls?
Yes, absolutely. It's just like any other convective storm. We can read cloud top temperatures from satellites. So if you know essentially the intensity of a squall in an area covered by radar moves into an area that maybe isn't quite as well covered by radar, but you have the equivalent cloud top temperature, we can assume the intensity underneath that is about the same. So yes, we absolutely do, and we can get temporal resolution down to minutes during these events. So we.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Millersville University did apply, or had, yeah, why was that, why did you guys decline that or decide not to go that route?
I am not familiar with that. I can tell you we would be interested in any supplemental radar systems. I would have to talk to you about that afterwards, but we're open and interested in any of that. Yep. Thank you. Without hesitation that few weather events pose a greater threat to Pennsylvania highway motorists than snow squalls. Snow squalls produce quick-hitting, intense, brief bursts of snow lasting on the order of minutes, producing blizzard conditions and extremely dangerous highway travel, despite generally minor snow accumulations. One of the most dangerous aspects of snow squalls is their tendency to produce flash freezes on highways. Place on a highway during a snow squall. Throughout this week, we'll post a variety of infographics, videos, and safety tips on our collective social media platforms, at rest stops, and on digital highway message signs. Please take the opportunity to review this information so you know what to do when you encounter
The roadway at the next opportunity. If you do get caught driving in a snow squall, avoid slamming on your brakes, turn on your headlights and hazard lights, stay in your lane, and increase your following distance. There is no safe place on the highway during a snow squall. Before you get on the road this winter, make sure you are weather aware, and for more information on how to do so and about the science of snow squalls, snow squall warnings, and
At 511pa.com, you can see plow locations and when all state roads were last plowed. When it comes to squalls, we all know they're very unpredictable. We may pre-treat in areas where squalls are forecast if they're to perform their jobs effectively and safely. In inclement weather, give other vehicles space and please slow down. Squalls can appear suddenly and your visibility can reduce or completely disappear. Give yourself some extra reaction time and space. I talked about our preparations for snow.
Would work to put a teenager in the middle of a snowstorm, but as we discussed, squalls come up at a moment's notice like that. So there is a good opportunity for one of them to be caught in this, just like it would be for any of us. Next thing I'm going to ask you to do too is please check your winter tires, or tires that you have on your vehicle now. We always have a saying, those of us that do this, that the first storm is always the worst. I can tell you a lot of that is because folks haven't checked their tires. They haven't checked pressure. They haven't.
Suits conditions and increase your following distance. Make sure your headlights are turned on. Don't rely on automatic headlights, as squalls virtually eliminate a driver's ability to see other vehicles and the road. You should also turn on your defrosters, wipers, and four-way flashers. Stay in your lane and stay alert. If you are involved in a pileup crash, you will be safer in your vehicle with your seatbelt fastened. If your car is drivable, turn on the hazard lights and slowly move forward to the front of the pileup. If the road is blocked, get off the travel lanes as much as possible. If you must leave your car for an emergency, try to wait until it looks safe, behind a tree, guide rail, or concrete barrier, but be wary of rocks, debris, and other hazards that might be along the road and obscured by snow. With all these tips mentioned today, our goal is to help you and your family reach your destination safely. At this time, I'd like to introduce the director
and loved ones. During winter weather events, our agencies are all actively engaged in support of the motoring public. Whether it be providing updated forecasts or weather warnings, clearing or maintaining the roads, providing real-time travel information, continuously monitoring conditions across the Commonwealth, or responding to incidents that occur to resolve them in a timely fashion. We all do this to provide for the safety of the motoring public,